Watch this real-time Schnauzer drawing to see how I build fur textures and expressive features, adding life to my pet illustrations. Let's start creating. Okay, so I'm gonna work on this first panel, getting it colored in and, well, not colored, I'm sorry, getting it just a tighter sketch than what I have here. These are all my like original loose sketches. So yeah, let's roll. Let's see, where do I start? Okay, I'm gonna erase some of these guidelines I had in here. I don't need those anymore. Okay. Let's see, I got the general sketch in there. Okay, actually the line work isn't too bad. Let's see what size. It's too small. 6. Okay, I'm just gonna go over some of these lines just to get them a little tighter, a little darker, so I can see where I'm going. Even though I got a lot of this book done, I still feel like I have a very long way to go, but that's the fun of it all, right? Just getting a little bit done at a time. Making your way through, which actually I think I'm gonna just focus on. This is kind of just an image of like Kobe as a puppy and like a litter with other dogs, and I've actually never drawn dogs before, so this is a new experience for me for sure. But you know, take my best stab at it and go from there. I think I always try to think of it as less like I'm drawing a particular item and more like just drawing an object filled with different elements. I feel like that makes it a little bit easier, so I'm not so stuck in like, it's a dog, it's a cat, it's a horse, it's a person. Like, no, it's just these multiple elements that come together to make the thing. Okay. Alright, let's work on this collar a little bit. So right now, again, I'm just establishing just a better line. And then I do wanna, I've been trying a new art style where I kinda go into like tight line work with shading. And then color that. And so far I like it. But you know, art is forever changing, so this book could look like that and the next one could look completely different. You just don't really know, right? These dolls are adorable though. Okay, let's try. Okay, so now I'm gonna leave the line work separate. Sometimes I put it all on one, but because it's a book and there's gonna be variation, I'm actually separate the line art and the shading, just so I have some flexibility to like go back if I need to. That's the worst. You need to go back and you can't. So I'm gonna establish. Actually, I'm gonna take some painting brushes, maybe. Let's try this one. That's the hard thing. I feel like you starting over every drawing. What brush to use, you know? Right now I'm just trying to establish some grays, lights, darks. some values essentially. I tend to do like, 3 layers, 4 layers max, where 1 layer is a sketch, 1 layer is this like black and gray kind of value, 1 layer is base color, and then 1 layer is highlights. I think that was 4. So that's generally where I land, is those 4 layers. Let's see, trying to figure out how light is hitting it. I know like with traditional comic books, they tend to go really dark with their values, like black, which I like. I like that style, but I don't know. It doesn't translate because I'm more of a painter, so it just never really translates very well when I try to color in like a painterly style. So that's never fun. Even this value study feels, I think, painterly to me. Big brush strokes. It's always fun coloring and working on this book because like, I got the actual Kobe sitting like right by me while I'm coloring, which is a cool experience, you know. Kobe is he'll be 5 this year. So I got him during the pandemic, and I just, I thought about the book because I was like, man, like, I don't know where I'd be without Kobe, being here. And Dogs love is so unique, and you don't really know it until you felt it, but I was like, yeah, I gotta do a book about Kobe, about the importance of dogs and the emotional connection you have with them. It's different. Okay, now I don't do fur very often, so I am literally figuring this out as I go, which is fine, I assume we're gonna get there. Okay, let's see, let's get back to the nose. I think, so for me, I'm trying to do less like realism or like hyper realistic. I'm not trying to make it hyper realistic. I'm just trying to make it feel tangible, feel real, while also being cute and fun. And so I'm doing like a mix, I think. Somewhat realistic, somewhat cute and fun. Kind of my natural, I think, style. Get a little light on those eyes because he's adorable. Okay, so that's probably where I would do. I'm gonna go ahead and make a white layer and just paint on some white real quick. Actually, let's play around with some additional whites just to make him look super cute. Oh, that's adorable. Okay, I like that. So this would be my like white layer. So white layer. So everything I paint just pure white out the box is gonna be in that layer. Then I'm gonna have multiple layers because it's multiple frames, but this is my drawing layer. I can go ahead and name these. Let's see, drawing. rename. What I normally name this? Values. And then I would have a color layer. That's 4. And then every once in a while I may do like a rendering layer on top of the color layer, but nowhere near that right now. So let's go back to the values. Keep painting. I think that's the most like fun thing about all this is just kind of figuring it out as you go and getting texture and rendering. And I don't know, you kind of find the drawing, it kind of finds you. So what I think I need to do is erase some of that line work. And it's truly, once you got the like base sketch down, it's just like finding the drawing past that. Just finding the details. Okay. There's a little darkness up here. Get a little darker around the eye. Trying to make, let's move this one up a little bit. So kind of in this stage, I'm like not only tweaking the values, but also tweaking the drawing, because like I drew these in really fast, right? But I do want there to be a certain level of like just cleanness, you know, kind of cleaning as you're going. Okay. Okay, let's go down there. Let's see. Like that feels a little big. Alright, let's go more up here. I think I need to round this out. Honestly, I feel like, because before I've done this style before with like values and then coloring and all that good stuff, but not much with personal work, but more with being an illustrator professionally. But I'm actually liking it because I feel like you do a lot of work on the front end, but you're able to kind of do a little less on the back end because you kind of already got your values down, right? So at that point, you're just, colorizing what you've already established, which I find to be great. A lot, less work. Okay, so I'm gonna focus. Let me focus on the eyes. Okay. So I'm gonna need to tweak the line here. Again, it's constantly stepping back and seeing what feels like it's missing and what's feeling good, and kind of determining why it feels good to you. Okay, so go back to the value. Okay. actually move this one over just to here. That's looking adorable. I'm liking it. Okay, so I kind of use the eraser kind of like a drawing tool too, you know, I come from a traditional artist background, so I attempt to take those same values that I learned with traditional art and implementing it with digital art. But, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know, some things translate, some things don't. But I know that's kind of my base, so that's always where I start. I think you start with what you know and then go from there. Biggest thing you can learn, like if you're just starting drawing, is I would say this part here is values. Well, one of the biggest things, right, is values. Like if your values aren't there, your drawing's gonna feel flat, lifeless. So you really want to like get those values down. Like I'm pushing my darks, but again, not to like the level of like a comic book where it's like pure blacks, but I am pushing them because I want there to be clear difference. Round his nose out a little bit. I'm actually drawing with the wrong brush, but that's okay. Can't tell. Or maybe you can. That's fine too. Alright, so I'm gonna push some darks up here. So I'm gonna attempt, right? I say attempt because, again, don't draw animals a lot. But I'm going to attempt to get some texture in here of the snout. But I would say look at it in totality because some details don't translate. So you can spend like hours and hours doing detail work that don't matter because nobody can actually see it because it's printed so small. So be mindful of those things, but I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna do like, I think there's a difference in like trying to render for like hyperrealism and then trying to just get textures and values to come across on your drawings. So I always keep that in mind. I'm gonna kind of go darker there. So even just that little bit of texture, your eye kind of fills in the rest, right? Like I didn't completely render that out, but just a little dots here, little dots there. Make sure I think there's something there that can kind of fill in the void. Yeah, I like that. And one thing I am not doing, because I'm living on the edge here, is I'm not like locking layers, which I highly recommend you do, because nothing is worse than drawing on the wrong layer and either having to keep it as is or start anew. And that really sucks, but you know, I am risking it today. That's looking really good though. I like the nose. Let's see if I got enough highlight. Erase some of the thickness of this line. Okay. So I say you use your eraser. See, I'm finna add a little white texture. Use that eraser like a tool as well. And I always like to kind of erase in my texture just as I'm drawing texture in and erasing texture in. So I'm kind of erasing this texture into the dark spots. I think that's pretty good on the snout. Like I said, some of this, you can only go so far because you're not going to see it when it's done, but I just want to get a little bit of this speckle on the nose. And then honestly, like, I'm gonna probably not do as much detail on the other ones because I want him to stand out amongst the other ones. So I'll probably do, more detailed work with him than I would the others, just to draw people's eye in. Okay, I'm gonna try a different brush now. Those are more like, I would say a concept brush, but I'm gonna try my pencils and see if I can get some texture in there, if I can find it. I've been playing around with different texture, different pencils. Let's see, it's kind of big. And so the main thing to keep in mind is what may work on one document, it may not work on another because the canvas size is bigger. So the rendering that you was getting, you may no longer get. I think it's just how it is. Okay, that's better. See, I want it to be, if you see that, this side here has more texture. This side here, softer. Feels more like it's being shaded with like a soft, like I want a little texture, but not like a ton, because I'm using, I'll be using my coloring too, so I want that to translate. Okay, so I'm just gonna try something real quick with this brush and see how it's looking. I honestly don't know. I'm gonna try it. I am not a professional brush maker, so please don't hold me to those standards. I'm just, honestly, a lot of brushes I have either I've bought or I've made, or just over time been like, okay, I like this element of one thing, but then I like this element of another thing, and like, how do I bring those elements together? I am still not liking this. Still not giving me. It worked so well on the other one. See, the side of it looks nice, but I'm struggling with this. Okay, that's better. Let me see how that works. And then let me go down on the sides a bit. Okay, that's kind of soft. I like that. And I didn't need that much there, so I can erase some of this out, but I think kind of liking the texture. I'm also not liking this ear anymore, so let's get rid of that. And honestly, I'm still, it's just too much texture for what I'm going for. So what I may do, pivot here. Let's try a different one. That's part of the process. You keep trying and you find it or you don't, or you make it up as you go. So I think I'm gonna stick to like my marker brushes, honestly. And I think I'm gonna stick to those. I'm gonna erase some of this out. And again, so we talked about that earlier, right? Like, I hardly ever put all of my layers on one, unless I'm painting. Normally when I'm painting, I do, because I think it just adds to the illusion of it being traditional art. But like in this stage, I would never do it all on one layer. Just, you gotta go back too much. And like, had I done it on one layer, I would be like fighting to refine the drawing, and nobody wants that. So I'm just adding a couple areas of value. Now this one is, I put it in my marker brushes, but it's like a realistic marker. So like, you got these here, right? No texture, just smooth. Feels like a Prismacolor marker, right? And then you got these that include a little texture to it. So I like to go, back and forth. Some texture, some not. Like that one has some nice little gritty texture to it. But I never use one of anything, honestly. I mix it up because nothing is all of one. Everything is different, and no two same people, no two same textures exactly, right? Everybody's hand is different. Everybody's everything is different. So I try to be mindful of that when I'm painting and drawing, and just remember that, it's not about being perfect. It's just, for me, it's about just translating the image I got in my head for whatever the thing is. So you can get texture by like actually having texture, or like I'm getting a little texture in here, which I can show you. I'm getting a little texture in this area because these lines have this blocky shape. And when you start layering them on top of each other, you get like this interesting layered texture. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I like it. Again, it's just, I always try to go back to what make this feel kind of painted. It's hand drawn, but like just not digitally hand drawn. And sometimes some of the base brushes feel very digital and very smooth, and that's normally not the look I'm going for, but for some people they are, and that's quite alright too. Okay, so now I'm just trying to, I don't know, man, try to find this fur. I can already tell I'm be tired of drawing fur by the end of this thing, but that's okay. It's alright. Probably won't do another doggy book for a while, so enjoying the process. I've always wanted to do a book about my doggy. I had done one before, but I had another dog. I had him like 9 years. Passed And I want to do a book about him, and I just started it. But you know, I think everything happens when it's supposed to. Now this is a perfect timing for this book. Okay, let me grab. I'm gonna mess around with some more brushes before I come back. But see, those are really smooth brushes. That's why I wanted a good pencil. That's okay. We'll figure it out though. Okay, so just laying some grounding. So he actually looks like he's sitting on the grass. I think he's really a cute dog though. Okay, I've even started placing that up there. And so some of it I'm gonna have to wait until the whole image is done because like we talked about, I'm gonna be adding in kind of coloring with the eraser, but I kind of can't do that until I have the dark values in there. So yeah, it's a layered approach, but I like absolutely love this nose. It is adorbs. Let's see, is there anything else I want to add in here? Let's see. Okay. Just adding in a couple like indication of fur. You never draw every whisker, every piece of hair. Like never, never, never. That's the worst thing you could do because it looks stiff and just a beginner, I think, mistake. You block in and then you refine. You refine. Like some of these I'll eventually go darker in, but I'm also coloring it too, so I'll have to go full on. So, okay, I think this one is pretty close for, you know, the ultimate goal here of blocking in these grays and values. Okay. Yeah, eyes look really good. I'm gonna add a little, I shouldn't say, hope I'm on the right layer. All right, I'm gonna add a little shadow because no eye is like pure white. So let's add a little shadow there. A little shadow here because your eyelid covers part of it. And particularly these dogs, they have eyebrows. That covers a bit too. So just toning that down a little bit. Let's get a little separation of this beard area. Separate just a bit. Separate that. Go a little darker here. I'm gonna clean up this line work a little bit. So say you don't really have to completely redraw. You just kind of refine that base loose sketch just there. Okay, so because I don't know exactly every line, I'm gonna add white so I can get a little separation. A little white in here. See if I got the right brush, which I'm sure I don't. Let's see. Oh, this don't work though. So, okay, so I'm making an illusion of fur and separation by adding like this white edge. As you got fur laying on top of fur. And technically he's like a white black mix. So part of him is like darker gray, some of him is white with like a tan undertone. I'm just gonna add that in. So you want to kind of get the illusion of like fur. Just break your line by adding a little white on top of it. Again, you're drawing in stuff and then you're drawing out stuff. Right now I'm drawing in something, but you can always draw out something too with the eraser or just pure white, this is the exact way I would do it if I was drawing it on paper. Like literally I would do it like this. Okay, a few more of those pieces of fur. So you can't go overboard with this, so try not to. I tend to. I have to like punch it back. Okay, I think that's good enough. Do a little bit up here. Just on that jawline where technically light would hit. I'm gonna do a little bit here again. So in this ear, illusion of fur, right? I'm not drawing every piece of hair he has, 'cause who wants to do that? I am creating depth. So you use every tool you got to get the results you want. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that here too, because technically that's the snout. Okay, I think we got a good little bit of eye study there. 4 more dogs to go, right? This is the fun part. The hard part is just figuring out the stories and what you want it to say, what you want it to be about, how you want people to feel. This is the part I find joy in. It's just rendering and getting it there. So now I'm drawing in fur with the black. So you go back and forth. Cause the edge was white there. Now I'm saying, okay, let me get some of this fur in with the black. 2 techniques that get you some realistic looking edges. I feel flowy and just overall just nice. Okay, I feel like I'm overworking a bit, so I am going to take a little break on this one and call at least that one part of this enormous page done. But you know, a win is a win, and I do think I need to punch back some of these because technically this beard is white So I want it to look white. His beard is completely white almost. So that's the thing, you gotta step back, say, okay, this looks good. This part doesn't. Let me dial back, or it works or it doesn't. It's translating or it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a constant back and forth. I'm actually down some of the drawing deck a little bit too, so that feels gray and not black. Yeah. So really darken your darks, really light your lights. Again, I'm gonna be interested to see like where this all goes, but as far as one part of this very large spread of drawings, I think it looks really good. Like, you don't ever tackle something all together, you tackle it one piece at a time, and this is one of those big pieces. If you haven't seen my other video, I do have a video of this cover design. I'll be posting that one soon. I've also kind of done it in color as well. Just kind of a quick mock-up of what I want this page to look like. But yeah, it's about a 14-page book right now, and this is the first page and the first part of that drawing. So super excited. Glad you guys decided to join me in this process, and I look forward to the next video. See y'all soon.